The Lower Mainland in the 1990s was expanding, with increasing opportunities in construction, trade work, small business, and post-secondary education. Alongside that growth came new economic opportunities, but also emerging tensions. During this period, law enforcement began to observe an increase in youth involvement in organized criminal activity, particularly within drug markets connected to marijuana production and distribution. They were tied to cross-border networks, with product moving between British Columbia and the United States. Competition over these markets intensified, and with that competition came violence. Shootings were carried out in residential areas. Targets were often young men, and the violence, once contained, began to spill into public view. Over time, these conflicts resulted in a significant number of deaths. The combination of accessible drug markets, existing networks, and an environment shaped by visible violence created conditions in which involvement in criminal activity became, for some, an available path. For those who were growing up in British Columbia, exposure to this lifestyle was difficult to ignore. By the time Gurmit Singh Dhak reached adulthood, this landscape was already established. As a teenager, Dhak became associated with a group known as Billy's Crew, a small, loosely organized high school gang operating in Vancouver's South Slope area. The group was not considered a major criminal organization. These were not yet the large-scale operations that would later define organized crime in the region, but they were often the starting point. What made groups like Billy's Crew significant was not their size or immediate impact, but the era in which they existed. During this period, certain elements of criminal life, particularly those tied to drug trafficking, were becoming more visible within parts of the community. Displays of wealth, including expensive vehicles, clothing, and cash, were increasingly associated with individuals involved in those activities. For young people observing this from the outside, the contrast could be striking. On one side, traditional expectations centered mostly around education. On the other, there appeared to be a faster path, one that offered immediate financial reward but carried significant risk. At the same time, high-profile figures were shaping public perception of that world. One of the most visible was Bindy Johal, whose media presence and involvement in violent conflicts during the mid-1990s received significant attention. Coverage of these events extended beyond the individuals directly involved. It contributed to a broader awareness of gang activity and, in some cases, influenced how criminal success was perceived by younger audiences.